Welcome back to another episode of Trump Treachery Tarot. I'm your host, Sarah. Before we get started, be sure to take a moment, click the like and subscribe button. If you have any questions you'd like me to cover in the next reading, feel free to leave those in the comments. I do have a whole playlist of readings for the regime, so if you like these kinds of videos, feel free to check those out. Also, if you enjoy this video and you like what I do here, hit the description box and check out some of my links. Now let's get started. I'm going to start with something that I was personally kind of bothered by, which was, and let me pull up my notes here. Trump said the other day, "He who saves his country does not violate any law." Now, as a history buff and someone who has researched a lot of similar characters to Donald Trump, will say that was a startling statement that he made. So I want to start with that question, and the question is, when Donald Trump made that statement, what was he really saying? What was in his mind? Where was he coming from with that statement? I mean, because let's be real, we know, but let's ask the tarot. So the first card, and let me just turn up the light. 8 of Wands. 8 of Cups. So with these 3 cards, he is working methodically and quickly towards his ultimate goal, and everything is going well. And I think the answer to the question is pretty clear with these 3 cards. Prince of Pentacles, mutable earth, he's adapting. When difficulty arises, he has resources and likely people around him to fix these problems. Since this is attached to the Knight of Pentacles, this person is likely a younger male. He's loyal, he's hardworking, he's methodical, he's all these great things that Trump loves. With the 8 of Wands, we're seeing that things have been going so smoothly for Trump, moving at such a high speed. He's feeling confident about accomplishing more. But if you take a closer look, this card comes with an energy of a burning altar. And that's a reference to Greek religion and ritual sacrifice performed at the altar. This energy is all about burning away the difficulties and movement into new territories, maybe literally, maybe not. Then you have the 8 of Cups, and this is where you start to see a direct answer about Trump's statement. The 8 of Cups itself could indicate that he's still not satisfied. He feels he has more to do, but with the attachment of Cepheus is a king who sacrificed his own child, we get this sense of how ruthless Trump is and that he's willing to do whatever it takes to achieve a goal. I mean, sounds just like him, right? So to recap, what Trump is really saying in this tweet is that he has the momentum, he has the support, and he's willing to do whatever it takes to dismantle the government and rebuild it to his skewed liking. So now let's go one step further, since we have these 3 cards to build off of and we have a little insight into his thinking. Will Trump publicly proclaim himself a dictator soon? Five of Cups. A healing crisis comes to mind here. The serpent bearer, Ophiuchus, was a healer, but sometimes healing isn't easy or painless. Sometimes healing ignites imbalance. In the space between wounded and healed, there comes a time of restoration, not only physically, but mentally and emotionally. Think of like deconstruction, awakening, breaking away from propaganda and cult-like mentality. Then we have a sense of a lot of people feeling betrayed, let down, disappointed. Even more people will mourn for the loss of democracy. Now, this doesn't apply to this deck specifically, but generally there are spilled cups on a Five of Cups card signifying missed opportunities. And I think a lot of people are in for an aha moment where they think we should have chosen differently. We made a mistake. And this energy is going to apply to Trump too, because he's going to feel the impact of the loss of his fandom. So let's pull another card and see what we can get here. Three of Cups reversed. I'm going to lay it down upright. Ace of Swords. Argo Navis carried the Argonauts on their search for the Golden Fleece, and Argo symbolizes leaving familiar territory and moving out of our safety zone. Crucis is commonly known as the Southern Cross. These stars were once part of Centaurus, but eventually evolved into their own star pattern. It depicts the emergence of consciousness. Clarity becomes central because new patterns and the old order are basically being questioned. So to recap the question, will Trump publicly proclaim himself a dictator soon? This all looks like a yes, and I think when he does it, it'll bring about a shift in the way people view him, and it's a shift he may not be happy with. He's going to lose support to a very strong degree. We may see some very serious upheaval as well. And going back to this card, the Three of Cups is all about a moment. But remember, it was reversed, so instead of celebration, it kind of feels like we're left with this devastating moment. And instead of success, we get a moment of failure, defeat. We now see one entity in control of all. So there you go. Hope I'm wrong. Let's move on to another question. We had a subscriber question the other day, and it was about Barron Trump. And if he is affiliated with Doge, if he, like what's going on with him. And I was actually thinking about doing an entire video about him because there's a couple of things that I've picked up from being someone who reads constantly and is filled with useless knowledge and tidbits. If you guys are interested in like a full video on Barron Trump, or maybe just like a video on the Trump kids, let me know in the comments and I will do something along those lines. No one is safe when it comes to Trump treachery tarot. So let's get a couple of cards for Barron to answer the subscriber question. Barron Trump, what is your affiliation? Are you involved in any of the things that are going on right now? So first of all, we have Princess of Cups, the Fool, Justice, I'm going to say, I think Barron finds it difficult to fit in. I think he's a little bit of a sweet summer child, if you know what I mean. There are a couple things here that stand out, like for instance, representation of the seasons, autumn, autumnal shift. The princess is also holding an urn, and both of these things stand out to me and say that there is a clear divide between him and the rest of his family and probably even the regime. There's something about the combination of the Fool with the Princess of Cups that makes me think that while Barron is not involved with any of Trump's business, at least based on what I'm seeing here, he probably wants to be or wishes he could be. But with the Fool and the Princess, or the Page of Cups combined, I just feel like it's a scenario where he's realizing he doesn't have any real skills or talents to offer. Like he doesn't know enough about anything to really contribute. And then with Justice, now something super interesting here that keeps coming to mind is how Barron is known to be emotionally explosive and unstable. If you haven't heard about this, maybe I'll talk more about it in a future reading, but I keep thinking that the combination of justice and the page indicates something involving Barron's behavior. I don't know if we're going to see more of it publicly or if something's going to come out, but there's this clear reference here with these two cards together, and it's even more reinforced with the immaturity of the page. So, like with his behavioral issues, and I hope that the cards are implying that he's grown out of all that and is in a better place, but then again, he is a Trump after all, so. Let's finish up with a quick lightning round of questions before we end this video, and I will just go ahead and say thank you right now for all the new subscribers, and thank you for watching, and I appreciate it so much. I'm glad to have you here, and if you just stumbled across my channel, feel free to hit the subscribe and like button. It helps me out a bunch. I really, truly appreciate it. All right, guys, the first lightning round question before we get to the end of this video. What will we see next from Donald Trump? What will we see next from Donald Trump? And I'm using my rider deck here. Really pretty, I like these. What will we see next from Donald Trump? So every time I see something like this, there's one thing that comes to mind. I'm not going to say what it is, but we have we have the Six of Cups, nostalgia, innocence, memories. I'm going to go with memories for that one. Five of Cups, loss, grief. I really shouldn't be laughing. I'm sorry, you guys. Loss, grief, disappointment, regret, emotional pain. And then the Ten of Cups, happiness, rejoicing. I take it for what it is. I'm just going to say it, like, I know there are a lot of people wondering about his health right now, and so this is really just kind of strange. We'll see. We'll see. All right, next question. What will we see next from Elon? Who could guess, right? Like, Elon. What will we see next from Elon? Muskratina. So I think Elon is going to keep pushing ahead. He's going to keep persevering in his pursuit to dominate the poor. And then he's going to go home. He's going to go home. That kind of makes me want to, like, expand the reading, but I won't. We're doing a lightning round. We'll talk about Elon another time, but that's kind of like what I'm getting here is, like, he's going to keep pushing so hard with what he's doing. Like these two cards, let me just show you these. Pretty cruel card over here, the image in regard to Elon Musk. So he's going to keep pushing until he ends up going home. Next question. Will there be any scandals anytime soon? I'm in the mood for a good Trump scandal. I don't know about you guys, but will there be any good scandals anytime soon? So I feel like this is impulsive financial maneuvers, impulsive financial pursuits is going to lead to heartbreak. Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. I actually heard a conspiracy theory that Elon Musk is broke. Let's ask that question. Is Elon Musk actually broke? Is he hurting for money? I know that sounds ridiculous. When I first heard it, it sounded kind of crazy to me too, you know, because everybody's like, oh, he's about to become a trillionaire. But he's in a position where he could just lie about that and nobody's going to fact check him. Nobody's going to question it. Is Elon hurting for money? Oh, okay. Interesting. I don't know why, but the only thing that comes to mind with these two cards right here is that, let me see if I can explain this succinctly without getting too excited. Sometimes I get too excited, guys. He's got a cycle where he blows through money, I bet. And that's just a guess. That's my own conjecture. But what I'm actually seeing here has to do with ventures. That's the word I'm looking for. Financial ventures. He goes in these cycles where he goes on ventures to accumulate and acquire more wealth. He's working very hard. He's very good at it, and he's working very hard at it. So while this, I don't know if this really answers the question, is Elon broke? He's definitely in the pursuit of finance right now, I think. And I think he's looking, it's funny that this came up, because like he's looking at the world as if, you know, he can just take whatever he wants. He could just, you know, just spin a globe and throw a dart and be like, that one, I want that one. So he could be broke, but he's definitely repeating a cycle that he's repeated before. So this makes me actually want to look into his past a little bit and kind of like find his patterns, and whatever his patterns are would probably be the answer to the question. So interesting. Let's do another one. So I know we kind of already asked this in another video, but you know, things change. Everything can change at any time. So that's the thing you have to remember with tarot, of course, is that things can change all the time. They're changing every minute. So is there a chance Congress could turn on Trump? Can we see like maybe some of them being like, whoa, this is a bridge too far, finally? Is there any chance of Congress turning on Trump? First thing I see here that I really have to point out is how I see this movement across the spread, with one pushing back that way. I'll explain that in a minute. That probably doesn't make sense, but I just had to point it out. So I kind of get a sense that Congress is this nurturing figure to Trump, and he feels like, you know, he could probably just fall back on them anytime he needs their ability or their skill or whatever, and they're nurturing him. But then I feel like there's a big shift coming, because see, she's the only card pointing away. So that to me like feels like resistance here, because we have Death and Knight of Cups moving to the right. She's pushing back to the left, and I don't mean political right and left. I mean, I think we have the nurturing nature of Congress right now, where they're just, you know, all Team Trump, but then there's something that changes, something big. And then with the Knight of Cups, we have this following your heart kind of energy. So I think this is a maybe. I think maybe I should have phrased the question a little better, because I feel like this is a maybe, but I do think that this is indicative that, you know, they're in one place right now, but something's going to change, and then everything's going to change. So let's do one more question, and we will end this video. So I'd like to leave you with a little bit of hope. Hopefully that is what happens here. What should the American people expect through the end of February, beginning of March? What is our... Oh, okay. One of them jumped out. I'm going to keep shuffling for just a second till I get these cards in order. What should the American people expect? Oh, wow. That card's back. Back for more, huh? Okay. Ooh, don't like that. Yeah, so again, I can't help but go back to this energy around Elon where he's just kind of throwing a dart at a map and saying, I want that one. Like Veruca Salt. He's like a man-child version of Veruca Salt. And he's like looking at the globe. And I think, there's probably this sense that he could just take over anything he wants because, they've got the presidency. Who's going to stop him? And they're in for a fight. And I think I keep going back to the globe. I think the whole world is going to fight them. They're going to fight back. Every country is going to push back against this, and it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a lot of turmoil. Going to be a lot of mental duress. I'm sorry, guys. I was hoping that this would be like, The Star or something. But this is what we have. But it's good. I think, that people are going to push back against this. I just don't see people sitting back and watching this unfold the way that it seems like it could. I think there's going to be so much pushback. So, all right, guys. Well, that is the last question for the lightning round. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope you watched to this point. If you watched this far, leave a little emoji down in the comments. I don't know, maybe like a spooky ghost or something cute. Leave something in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you guys in the next video. And be sure to drop me some comments and let me know what kind of questions you want me to ask, what kind of topics you want me to cover, and I will work on that very soon. All right, thank you guys so much for watching.